What is up, guys? We're finally back. So, guys, it has been... I think it's actually been more than half a year since the last time we have done an episode of the Rantcast. And reason being, okay, we've got to explain. By now, if you've been watching the show for a while, you all know that every time we try to do this show, something goes wrong. I forgot to turn off my air conditioner.
There we go. First thing that went wrong.
Already, we're off to a great start already. We're not even going to cut that out. We're just going to turn that off, and then... there we go. No more background noise. So, case in point right there. Something goes wrong every time we try to do one of these videos. We've been trying to do one of these for the last, like, what, week? Something like that?
Yes.
And
every day
time,
it's been like, yeah, it's been like, Sim, you want to do the Rantcast? Or he'll text me, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, we'll do it at 9 o'clock. And then 9 o'clock happens, and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
We just, it's been like that all week.
All week.
Us,
Here's
me
what's
and him.
been happening.
Yeah.
The first couple times I had made, like, plans previously with people to hang out with, and then by the time I had asked Brandon if he wants to do this, I had forgotten that I had had plans with someone to hang out with. So then I would get a text like 5 minutes after asking Brandon if he's still good from one of those friends saying, hey, are we still hanging out? And then I'd be like, okay. So we'd go hang out. I've got a couple other things to talk about too, with hanging out with people. Our mud pit got taken away. I don't know if you guys know about that, but the mud pit that I was talking about in that video I did in the car, that got taken away because it's now private property. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but all I know is I can't use it anymore. I can't get my 4Runner all muddy anymore, which is sad because that was fun times. Oh, what else? What else goes wrong when we're trying to record this? I'm trying to think. See, now I can't even remember. We had this whole thing planned, and now as soon as I hit record, it's like, nope, gone.
It's like, oh, what? What's going on
okay.
Here?
Well, I guess we might as well just talk about the fact that we missed the 2-year anniversary of this of the Rantcast. So we started this. This is actually the exact same monster can that's been in every single episode except maybe like one where I forgot to put it back there. But the date on this, as you can see, July 5th, 2017.
Oh my gosh. It doesn't even feel like it's been 2 years, man.
Well, yeah, because we've only done like insane. 14 episodes. Like,
yeah. At this rate, it's going to be like 2 every year.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, pretty much. Oh, wait, this might be the last one this year then, because the last one we did was in February.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. See you next year, guys.
Yes, see you guys in 2020. Probably in like December. It's December 2020. Okay. Anyway, though. So 2 years. Not really much has changed. I am thinking about changing up the design of what you're looking at right now. But for right now, I kind of just wanted to get an episode of this out and to you because it's been too long. The second thing that you're going to notice is my microphone's not here anymore. It still exists, it's just not here in the way of everything. It's actually been moved to right there. And you can actually see Brandon on that monitor right there. But there's the microphone.
There's me.
Yeah, there's Brandon. But there's the microphone. It's actually on the exact same shock mount that Brandon has, because because he sent it to me, and then I was like, well, no, he didn't buy it and send it to me. He sent me the link, and then I bought it.
Yeah, I'm a cheapskate. I don't buy people gifts. Okay. Yeah, but hey, look, we got the same stand and the same microphone for the most part.
Well, mine's silver.
You gotta go for we gotta go for consistency, but it's the same thing pretty much. Sounds exactly the same.
It sounds exactly the same. His is just more diverse. That's gonna get me a strike. I should not have said that. Whose idea was this show?
I don't know.
I think it was both of ours in like October 2016. So. We were like, let's do a podcast, bro, and then it like got thrown together. I think
what happened is we got on some kind of rant, and we just kept ranting about something really dumb.
Oh yeah,
and we just decided to record hey, you know what? let's just record it, and this could be like a video, and then that's how the Rantcast, folks, that's how it was born. That's the origin story of the Rantcast. Just us ranting, deciding, hey, you know what, maybe this could be a good little show, and sure enough, that's what happened.
And here we are, 2 years later with... Actually, I'm going to check the playlist really quick. Let's find it. Where are we at? Why is my internet being so slow? Dude, for real? Okay. Okay, here we go. So, look at that. That's different now. Change that a little bit. But, okay. So, our first episode was Apple and Worldwide Developers Conference 2017. And then this one I don't think is public anymore because of an issue with editing. I gotta fix it. But, okay, 18. But one of them's not up anymore, so I guess technically 17 until I fix the editing issue in the Calhan episode. But yeah, so 2 years, 18 episodes.
Wow.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I think we were good for a little while, then we just started slowing down, sort of. Is that kind of what the trend has been?
Pretty much.
We need to do more.
So, we need to do more, but then, like, time is also a thing that doesn't exist very much anymore. So, I don't know when or what. We're also kind of out of topics. That was another issue with why we haven't done one of these in a while. But today we have a big backlog of stuff to talk about, so this is going to be a long episode. So get ready.
Oh, yes.
Go get some popcorn, get some hot Cheetos, do whatever. Grab some Monster Energy so you stay awake throughout the whole episode. And, yeah. So, alright, I guess the first thing to talk about is Apple, because we missed WWDC 2019. That was like 2 months ago, and we didn't ever do a video of it, so we're going to talk about it right now. Matt's not here, unfortunately, because he's got work tomorrow. Neither of us do. That's the reason we're recording this so late at night. But there are a couple of things to talk about with WWDC 2019. The first thing to talk about from WWDC 2019 is the new Mac Pro. They brought back the cheese grater design, which looks even more like a cheese grater now than it did before. What is cool, though, modularity, okay, in a Mac in 2019.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
It doesn't even look like a... It doesn't feel like a Mac product, usually. This
looks like a PC, except for the Apple logo, but we can... there. Now you can't see it because the mouse is over it, but it's a modular Mac Pro in 2019. And it looks like there's a USB port inside the case. I'm not entirely sure what that would be used for, but if I remember correctly, they give you 8 entire PCIe ports, which is insane. I think it has a 1500 something watt power supply, couple of SATA ports. So this thing's a beast. You know what else is a beast? The price of this thing. So, I'm gonna try to remember, but I'm pretty sure it starts at $6,000 base, and that's 256 gigabytes of storage. Okay, my phone has more than that. My drone has that much. In a $6,000 Mac Pro, you only get a 1/4 terabyte of storage.
Does this include the display? Does this include a display?
No, we're gonna get into that later. I'm not ready to get that fired up yet because the display is a whole different story.
That's coming.
There's really not that much information on Apple's website about the new Mac Pro right now. It just says every aspect of the Mac Pro is designed in pursuit of performance. Pretty much what it should have been from the start. It's not designed in the pursuit of cost effectiveness, but
yeah,
what are you gonna do about that? Wait, look, it's got a giant Apple logo on the side. It's not gonna be cheap. Giant Apple logo never equals cheap, okay? Even a small Apple logo never equals cheap. Regardless, they only give you... Okay, there's no ports on the front, as usual, but they give you 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports on the top of the case, which is nice. You've got the power button and actually a status LED, which hasn't been around for a while. And the way you open the case is you literally just pull the top of it off. It's like a bigger trash can Mac Pro, but now it's a mini fridge with cheese graters on either side.
That's a good description of it.
I mean, it is, dude. You lift the case off of it, just like the trash can one, except bigger now, and more expensive.
It's like, it's really weird because one does not simply open up a Apple product. Like, Apple makes everything very hard to get inside. This, you just twist it looks like, and just pull out. It's that easy.
Which is unheard of. Like I said, the old Mac Pro, the trash can Mac Pro, had that ability, but all you could really do was upgrade the RAM. That was about it. This one, you can put in... Actually, I don't think you can put in NVIDIA yet, because Apple's deciding to be a little bit salty at NVIDIA and not give macOS drivers for them. Which is... I don't know why. Like, why can't we have both? For this expensive of a machine, give us the option of AMD or NVIDIA, or both at the same time. That would make it worth $6,000, because I don't think you can do that in any other machine. But I'm not entirely sure, because I'm a Mac guy, and we don't do that here. So, but here's what is impressive though: 28 cores of power you can put into this thing. That's like, no one knows the price of that yet, but it's rumored to be, if you max this thing out with every single option, it's rumored to be $40,000. You can buy a 4Runner brand new for that, okay? You can buy a TRD off-road 4Runner brand new for that much, okay?
Oh my gosh.
$40,000, and that's not including the monitor yet. No monitor, no keyboard, no mouse. Okay? And here's the thing with the price too. People have been talking about, oh, it's if you build a PC with the same specs, it'll cost more. Which is true, but nobody is going to build a PC with the processors that Apple is putting into the new Mac Pro. They're using Xeon processors. Nobody uses Xeon processors, okay? And there is a reason for that. The first one is cost. They're very expensive. Power consumption is another one. And the Core i9 exists.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough said right there.
Yeah, pretty much when the Core i9 came out, it's like, what's the point of the Xeon? I guess the Xeon's more for professional use, servers, things like that, but, well, you know, now that i9 exists...
I think, well, Xeons support ECC memory, which I don't know... Oh, that's another thing. I think you can throw a terabyte of RAM into this thing.
Yes,
or something crazy like that. Actually, yeah, we'll get into the rest of the specs later on. But, okay, going back to this, Here's the Xeon processor. I'm not entirely sure which one that is, because I'm not very familiar with the Xeon line, because your boy can't afford them. But, that's it, inside the Mac Pro. Cooling is another thing we need to talk about. There are only case fans in this machine. There's no, CPU block fan. There's no, what else? There's no card... Okay, if you buy the cards that Apple has developed with AMD, they're passively cooled with the case fans. I think the only thing that has its own blower fan is the power supply, and that's what this is right here. Little blower fan. The rest of the fans in the case are just normal spinny fans, but that's a squirrel cage blower fan. I'm not entirely sure how loud it's gonna be. I probably won't be able to find out either unless Brandon wants to donate one to me. You want to do that? You want to help me out?
Yeah, I'll donate another mic, and I'll give you a whole new Mac. I'll get you the display. I'll get you. I'll get you a whole new.
3 displays.
I'll just buy you. I'll just buy you a freaking house. You know, I'll just do that. You just put your Mac in there.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. I'll go all out, man.
All right,
I'll go all out. That's how I do.
All right. Okay, so I was right. 8 PCI Express, which is PCIe, same thing. There's 8 of them. I don't know why you would need 8, but I guess it's better to have too much than not enough. But, you know, the inside, it's a PCB with Apple logos on it and Apple proprietary stuff on it, so you can't run Linux on it, and the Mac Pro processor heatsink up here. I guess it's still a CPU block, it just doesn't have a fan on it. It's weird. And I'm also really tired, so I'm probably doing a bad job explaining this. But, oh man, so what is impressive is the graphics cards that they have created with AMD for this machine. 8K is hefty. Even if you're... Okay, 8K, let me put it into perspective. Your iPhone right now, if you have a 6S or newer, shoots 12 megapixel still photos. 8K is 33 megapixels. So even if you're shooting 24 frames a second, that's still 24 8K photos every second. Now imagine getting into 8K 75 frames per second raw. That's when you need power, okay? If I tried to do that with my iMac, it would overheat because the cooling in it kind of sucks. It would just explode. That would be the end of the iMac, and I'd have to buy something else. But this one supposedly is able to handle, I think, either 3 or 4 streams of 8K at a time, which is impressive. And that's in like, not in like better performance mode. That's in quality mode. Only if you get their graphics cards, though. So here it is right here. They call them the Radeon Pro Vega 2 Duo MPX module. So their naming scheme hasn't gotten any better at all, but Radeon Pro Vega 2 Duo MPX module. It's pretty much 2 graphics cards in one package. That's why the module itself covers 2 PCIe slots, but only uses 1, because the bottom 2 are proprietary. They're proprietary PCIe ports. They're not proprietary to the point where you can't use different things in them, but if I remember correctly, it's been a while, but this connector right here is what makes it proprietary and able to carry the what am I trying to say? The extra data needed for this Radeon. I don't even want to say it. That module. The name's too long. Okay, get out of here. As if iPhone XS Max wasn't bad enough, now we've got Radeon Pro Vega 2 Duo MPX modules.
It's just ridiculous, man.
If Apple had done this with NVIDIA instead of AMD, it would have been better. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, this is what I was talking about right here. The MPX module starts with the normal PCIe connector, and then for the first time in a graphics card, they gotta hype it up, right? Additional PCIe lanes were created to integrate Thunderbolt and provide increased capability. Now, read this right here. Up to 500 watts per module. That's a lot of power. Okay, that's more than the Klipsch subwoofer under my desk. That's 400. This is 500 watts. The MPX connector is their proprietary edition, but if you look here, it's like literally right next to the standard PCIe connector, so you're not limited. Like, they didn't take away 2 ports to make them proprietary. You can still use standard stuff with them, but you can also use Apple's MPX connector up to 475 watts. Why does it say 500 right here then?
They're getting confused.
Okay, I don't know. Apple, come on.
It's probably 475. They're just trying to hype it up to 500. I don't know.
Regardless, either way, it's still more than my subwoofer.
Still a lot.
Still more than the subwoofer. Okay. So, power plus power. Oh boy. We're getting into it, guys. 32 gigabytes of RAM for video per module. That's a lot, okay? That's what enables you to do that much 8K editing at a time. And the displays are also probably not the easiest to drive, which we'll get into in a second here. But yeah, it's just a lot of power and a lot of money. So, yeah. And they're also like the world's most powerful graphics card times 2. Oh boy. Oh, wait a second. No, it's not 32 gigabytes per module, it's 32 gigabytes per graphics card. So if there's 2 per module, it's 64 gigabytes of VRAM per module. So, I want it. I'm not gonna get it, but I want it.
Same here.
That would be great.
Same here.
Imagine having 128 gigabytes of video memory to work with, along with the 1 terabyte ECC RAM. That would be
1 terabyte of freaking RAM. Like, holy hell! Like, how many people have just a terabyte of hard drive space? You know, this is RAM. A terabyte of freaking RAM.
1 terabyte of RAM.
Where that could take you. Like, man. You must be editing, like, again, this would be very useful for 8K or any other things going on. I mean, it's insane.
It's crazy. I don't know who needs that other than, like, studios. But I think they already have, like, things built and in place.
So that's my thing, too. It's like, who's this for? Like, I don't think your normal user or normal Apple fan would go for this, because this is way out of your price range. It's way out of my price range, and I'm pretty sure it's way out of everyone else's.
Yep. Oh, I found the video specs. Here it is. 3 streams of 8K ProRes RAW at 30 frames a second. 12 streams 4K ProRes RAW at 30 frames a second. And then 16 streams of ProRes 422, so it's a little bit more compressed. That's what that is. But that's still impressive, okay? Say what you want, but
that's insane.
That's impressive.
That is insane.
And here's the screen. Oh boy, it's almost time to talk about the screen. But
yes. The screen.
It's actually getting so hot in this room that OBS is starting to like chop. So, sorry if the video is a little bit choppy for a little bit, guys. It's hot in here. I had to turn off the AC. Okay. And then there's also more information about the T2 chip, but that's been around for a while, so I'm not going to bother talking about it. I guess, okay, we should probably talk about the I.O. So, powerful I.O. at hand. Mac Pro has extremely high performance I.O. and lots of it. You have to buy it though, you have to add it. It doesn't come with it as far as I know. If you look at this picture right here, I think the only ports it comes with are these 4. And a headphone jack, surprisingly enough.
Oh, wow.
But
hey, thank you, Apple, man.
Yeah, for real.
I was worried there.
I think these are additional modules you can put in, and it's Apple. They're probably going to be like $500 a piece or something. And that's like being nice, okay? They're probably going to be more. What also is weird is that the dual Ethernet ports are inside the power supply. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But
yeah, that is strange.
It's weird. But it's Apple trying to develop a modular tower, which they haven't done since Steve Jobs, actually. Wow, they haven't done that since Steve Jobs. That's crazy. Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh, and you can use AR to put the Mac Pro in your workspace. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that in this video at the end.
I actually did that when I first heard about this.
Oh, really?
I put it on my room, and I'm like, oh man, this is so cool. This is so awesome. But I'm like, I totally can't afford this.
And it's like it's like
I wish I had it. We're ranting about it, but it's like, if I got one for free, man, I'd be like the envy of the whole block. I'd be the envy of the whole state, because that's just an insane PC.
It's not a PC.
Mac. Not
it's
a PC, man.
Dude.
See, I'm a PC guy, so I'm so used to saying that.
He's racist,
so,
guys.
It's a Mac. It's a Mac. Oh no, you can't say that because we might get.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, we're pushing the limits. It's gonna be okay.
We're pushing the limits, man.
Okay.
We can't get our advertising taken away.
We can't get the advertisements taken away. Okay.
Can't afford it.
So, check this out, guys. Right underneath the AR thing the Pro Display XDR. It's thick. Look at it. That's fat. That's a fat monitor, okay? And what's even fatter is the price. So, let's get into this, okay? There are a couple of things that I do want to talk about pricing for this, but, believing is seeing. Isn't it seeing is believing? Oh, and then it goes into... I forgot they actually did that. Okay. So coming this fall, it's going to launch with the the Mac Pro, not the iMac. We're not talking about the iMac. That was last year. So this is the Pro Display XDR. I think they're 32-inch 6K monitors, okay? They have a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, but they're not OLED. Why are they not OLED?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're afraid things might get burned in, maybe, but...
Well, they have OLED on the iPhones and Apple Watches, and no one's ever complained about either of those having burn-in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like just for the price, it should be OLED. But regardless, up to 1600 nits of brightness. Guys, that's bright, okay? My iMac... Actually, here, I might be able to demo this. I'm not going to bother turning off the other lights, but if I turn the brightness up... Wait, that's Siri. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's try that again. If I turn up the brightness on my iMac screen all the way... See how much brighter I get? And then I think if I actually shine a light into the sensor, it'll get even brighter. Oh yeah, it does. So this is 500 nits. Now imagine... it actually like hurts to look at this because it's so dark in this room, but now imagine 1600. That's more than 3 times this.
You
okay?
you can edit video outside. Just put the whole Mac Pro out there and just hook it all up. Just edit outside in the sunlight, you know.
Yeah, but then if you do that in Colorado, as soon as you turn it on, it's gonna start downpouring either rain, hail, or snow. And then you're gonna be like, wait, no.
No!
Okay, so...
My 40 grand computer! Ugh.
Oh, I actually forgot about this. The back of this is a cheese grater as well, and, John Prosser from Front Page Tech put it perfectly. Just watch this really quick.
I can't! It's a fucking cheese grater! Okay, listen to me, listen! I'm sure it's great! It's great! Grater! Cheese grater! I just don't know what you want me to do! What do you want me to do with this information? Look at it! It's a $6,000 cheese grater! The monitors are a cheese grater! It has wheels! It wheels! I don't know what you want from me, but I can't do it!
If you look at the back of the Pro Display, there are 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, but you can only use 3 of them, because this one is the one that you connect to the Mac Pro to get the display signal and the throughput for the other 3 Thunderbolt 3 ports. Wait, so when Thunderbolt 4 comes out, is there going to be 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports?
I don't know.
Because my iMac has 2 Thunderbolt 2 ports. Oh, but the new iMacs have 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports too, so I guess that, okay, that kind of just poked a hole in my logic, but whatever. XDR, it's pretty much Apple's, like, gimmicky spin on HDR, okay? It's extreme dynamic range. I don't know why they couldn't just call it HDR, but I also don't know too much about, like, color spaces and things like that, which I probably should, but I usually just shoot in a standard color space. I don't shoot in HDR, but this is XDR, okay? Extreme dynamic range. So, I already talked about the brightness. Oh, full screen sustained brightness, so that's what I just demonstrated with my iMac. I think 500 nits is peak brightness, and then the sustained brightness is lower. The reason for that is heat generation. So these displays can hold 1,000 nits continuously, theoretically. Maybe it's going to be another air-powered situation where it just overheats, but 1,600 nits is peak brightness. So like if you were to have like a bright light, like if you're in a room with a window behind you, and then the sun sets pointing at your desk, which at that point, why is your desk there? Just move it. Move it somewhere else. But
Yeah.
if you're too lazy, just spend an obscene amount of money on this monitor and the stand for it, and then just have a brighter one. So, 10-bit color depth, P3 wide color gamut, which is great, you know, it better be for how expensive it is. We're getting there, guys, don't worry. So, oh, here's the backlighting thing. They use blue LEDs to backlight it, and then, like, some sort of filters to to make it, like, an image. I have no idea how to explain it better than that.
It's weird.
But if you look, there is actually a fan inside of this display. So that's an indication of how hot it gets when it's at peak brightness, right?
That's ridiculous. You know something's getting hot when they put a fan in there.
In a
well, even
monitor,
like the
dude.
even the Mavic remote controller has a fan inside of it. It's like, why?
Yeah, the remote for my Mavic 2 Pro and his Mavic Pro has a fan. Literally a fan. I'm not sure why. The Phantom doesn't have one, does it?
It is not. That's the weird part. The Mavic does. I guess it's smaller in the transmitter and everything, and so they decide, oh, we'll just stick a fan in there to cool it down. So
I guess
that's what they did.
Oh,
It's
man.
just a strange because the fan. I don't think the fan's on right away. Isn't it like later on the fan turns
when
on?
it heats up enough, it'll turn on.
Yeah. So whenever that happened to me the first time, I'm like, what's this noise? There's a freaking fan in this thing, and it turns out there was. So like, yeah, it's weird. But to see a fan in a display is also just strange. I guess it has to be super quiet, I guess. Because can you imagine that? Your display's louder than the computer itself, just trying to cool down? Because I bet this thing does get hot.
That would be great. Just, hey, my monitor's louder than my Mac Pro. How do you feel about that? It wouldn't surprise me at this point, dude. Okay. Let's talk about... We're getting closer to the price point, but you guys probably already know what the price is, but this is a thing. This less glare thing. It's pretty much like it's nano texture glass. And it adds $1,000 to the cost of the monitor, if you want that. $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
The normal ones... Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think the normal one with the glossy glass, like iMacs have, is $5,000 for a monitor. Okay, you can buy an iMac Pro for that. $5,000. And that doesn't even include the stand. That's something completely different. But if you want the less glare screen with the nano texture glass, it's an extra $1,000, bringing it up to $6,000, which is the same price as the Mac Pro itself. Now,
you gotta be serious.
So, okay, let me ask you this really quick. You'd want a stand, right? You wouldn't want to just like have your monitor flat on your desk, right? If you want the Apple stand, that's gonna run you $1,000. $1,000.
Screw that crap. I'm just gonna put the monitor on my desk. Just take a whole bunch of books and something and just balance it on that thing.
I mean, pretty much, dude. At this point, okay. Now here's what I wanted to get into about the cost of the display stand. It's a bad move on Apple's part, right? But it kind of makes sense if you look at it from like an actual professional standpoint. Most of the time when I'm tired. Okay, so when a movie studio or a TV studio or news station upgrades their monitors, usually they'll just pull the monitor off the stand and then put a new one on. Which is actually kind of surprising that Apple just put a normal VESA mount on the back of it. But no, actually no. You have to buy the VESA adapter for $200. Just a little piece of metal, $200. Let's get it. But, okay, anyway. More air than metal. Okay. Let's read this really quick, okay? More air than metal. I'll give you a nice little full screen of that here. Check that out. Ooh. Okay. So, the lattice... I've never heard that term before this, by the way, before this was announced. Machined into the aluminum has many advantages. Does it really, though? It claims to double the surface area to air, or exposed to air. I don't know. Pretty much what they're saying is the entire back of this monitor is a heatsink. So... man.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I can't wait to see this all come out and just actually people test all this.
I'm gonna go to an...
if it actually can... Does it actually works as intended?
Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to an Apple store with... I do have some 4K raw footage from back when I was in school with the cinema camera. I am going to go to an Apple store and just sit at a Mac Pro for like an hour editing and see how it does compared to my iMac. I don't know if I'm gonna get... they won't kick me out for that, I don't think.
I don't... But especially if they're not busy, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly, but this is what I'm going to do because... let me put this into perspective. The starting cost for the Mac Pro cost more than my car with all the audio stuff I've put into it, okay? It cost almost $1,000 more than my car with all the audio stuff put into it. And that's just for the starting price, okay? And it gets even worse with the displays. If you want just the Pro display with the glossy glass on it, $5,000 with the $1,000 stand, so $6,000. And then if you want the anti-glare one, it'll be $7,000 with the stand. So the monitor can cost more than the computer if you want it to. So, okay, let's do some quick math here. If you want... So my desk right now has 3 monitors. They have been replaced actually since I did the last room desk tour video, but if you want 3 Pro displays just for the displays, you're looking at $18,000 minimum, assuming you get the stand. And then if you want the no, it gets worse. If you want the anti-glare ones, you're looking at $21,000 just for the monitors, okay? Just for the monitors. And then you have to factor in...
Gosh.
You have to factor in the cost of the Mac Pro and the specs you want. So, theoretically, you could have a $61,000 Mac Pro setup.
Oh my gosh. 61 grand.
That's almost $20,000 more than a TRD Pro Forerunner, okay?
You can buy a really cheap, crappy old house for that much money in a small town.
Not in Colorado.
Probably not in Colorado, but I know around here you probably could. You probably could. You could buy. Think about it. You could buy an old house for that money. A house, mind you, for the amount of money that this computer costs. That would probably go, with depreciation and everything like that. Would probably go. I don't know, probably like a third of its cost in a few years, just because of how electronics depreciate and everything. Yes, that is just absolutely sad.
Well,
oh my gosh.
No, maybe not, because until well, no, they're not selling it anymore, but the Trashcan Mac Pro was designed in 2013, and then they never updated it. They were still selling 2013 hardware for the same price in 2019 as they were 6 years ago in 2013. Until they announced this Mac Pro, you could go to an Apple store, buy a Mac Pro in 2019, again, mind you, take it home, and then look in the About This Mac section, and it would say late 2013 Mac Pro.
Yeah, that's just sad. For the price you're paying, it should be up-to-date hardware.
Exactly, dude. Those started at $3,000. And I think they only went up to... I say only, but it's still expensive. I think they went up to like $13,000.
It's like only $3,000.
I mean, compared to the new one, yeah, only $3,000, and I think only up to $12,000 or $13,000.
You know, it's really sad.
It's 2013
because
hardware.
$3,000 sounds like it was such a price break right now.
$3,000 compared to what they're pushing now. $6,000 for a 1/4 terabyte of storage. Are you serious? At least they're SSD, okay? I'm surprised they weren't just like, oh yeah, guys, 5,400 RPM hard drive. Here you go.
Yeah, I totally see that happening. No.
It wouldn't surprise me at this point. Now, guys, I love Apple, but their prices are retarded. Okay?
Yeah, they've just gotten worse.
They're ridiculous. They're going higher.
Like, I'd love to have this thing. Don't get me wrong. I really want this thing, but it's just way out of my price range, and I'm pretty sure it's way out of everyone else's price range. Who wants to spend $6,000 on this? Not including the freaking monitor. Like, come on. Oh my gosh.
Who knows, dude? So, another issue we have here. Here's the stand. This looks like the most basic computer monitor stand ever. It's just like made of aluminum now. Oh boy. Aluminum's very expensive, guys. Like
I bet that costs maybe like a couple $100 to make, maybe.
This can right here, this costs like $500 because aluminum's so expensive. But
that's why we kept that can there.
Yeah, that's why I have this from 2 years ago because it was so expensive.
We just keep recycling. We just stick. Oh my god.
Yeah, I take it to the Monster canning facility and have it refilled. But, okay, anyway. Oh, it already played and I missed it, but here we go. Look at that. Wow, it articulates, guys. Oh boy. Oh boy. It tilts and it goes up and down, and I think it rotates too. For $1,000. For $1,000, guys.
Yeah,
you can buy an iPhone XS for that much, now that I think about it, because the iPhone XS starts at $1,000.
An iPhone XS, I mean, think about it, it's a freaking phone. It's got a whole bunch of features. This is just a hunk of metal. Okay?
An iPhone XS,
it doesn't compare.
Like, you have an iPhone XS, right? I have the XS Max. It's the same thing, just bigger, but the iPhone XS has a screen, cameras, LTE radio, what else? Wi-Fi, storage, cameras. I might have already said that, but what you're
good
getting...
cameras. Good ones.
And they are good cameras for as far as smartphone cameras go, right? But this... It's aluminum. With a couple hinges.
Oh my god. The more I think about it, the more ridiculous it gets.
Well, it is. Maybe I'll just use my iPhone X as a stand for it. Like...
Yeah. You might find a way to get that to work, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, here's the available VESA mount adapter. That's wait, maybe it's $300. It was either $199 or $299. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was $199, but at this point, I don't know. And then they're like having the freedom to move between things. Who is going to move this monitor every day? Who's gonna carry around a $6,000 monitor every day?
God. Dude, I would be so scared. I would be absolutely terrified. When I fly the drone even, I mean, I'm absolutely terrified of having this $1,000 thing up in the sky.
And
can you imagine, like...
It's hard to crash those drones too, but every time I fly it, I'm like, what if it doesn't work and I crash into something?
What if it doesn't come back, you know? It's just, it scares you.
And now imagine hauling around a $6,000 monitor with you. What if someone, like... I don't know, what if someone on set decides to trip you, and then you drop it?
Yeah, I mean, like a normal thing, yeah, that happens all the time. You trip up on a stupid thing, there's a wire in a way or something like that, you know, there's a lot of things you could trip up on, and then, oh, there's that $6,000 monitor. Maybe you can get it repaired through Apple, but it probably costs like 12 grand.
Yeah, it costs more than buying a new monitor to get yours repaired. Okay, yeah. So I'm done talking about the Mac Pro. I'm done talking about WWDC. Actually, no. They announced iOS 13 and macOS Catalina. I have the betas for both of those. iOS 13 beta is super buggy. They took out 3D Touch for the first couple betas, but now it's back. macOS Catalina beta sucks. I hate it. Bluetooth cuts out like every 5 minutes. But that could also just be my MacBook. I don't know at this point, but regardless, there you go. There you go. I'm done. I'm done talking about WWDC. If you want to see anything else, just download the Apple events thing on your Apple TV and just watch it. Because I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to talk about it
and
anymore.
definitely watch the part where they announced the stand, because they like glanced over it like really quickly. Remember that?
You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna throw that into the video right here.
Throw that in there, where they're just like, here's the stand, and then it goes to the next topic, and everyone, you hear a little chuckle going on in the background.
Dude, you could hear the whole audience just goes, what?
What? Yeah, like, huh? What just happened?
Just watch this.
Yeah.
The VESA mount adapter will be $199, and the Pro stand $999. And like the Mac Pro, they'll all be available in the fall. So that is the new Mac Pro and Pro Display XDR. Now back to Tim.
Apple, what are you doing again? Come on, man. And now there's also rumors now that the iPhone this year is getting rid of 3D Touch, which I'm pretty sure is actually happening because the first few iOS 13 betas didn't have 3D Touch on a phone with 3D Touch hardware, okay? Like I said, it's back now. Well, actually, no. Let me correct that. The lock screen 3D Touch buttons were still 3D Touch, but if you were to 3D Touch like an icon on the home screen, it would do the same thing as a long press. Which they've since fixed that. Now see if I long press on settings. Oh wait, no, what it still does. Okay, never mind. Maybe they just both work now. Come on. There, see that was a 3D touch. This is really hard to do. Okay. So this is a long press. And then this is a 3D touch. And there's also a rearrange apps button now. The future's looking bright for iPhone and Mac. I can't, dude. Man. This is it's ridiculous. They need to stop. It's too expensive.
Yeah, please.
And this is coming from the guy who buys new iPhones and Apple Watches every year. This is too expensive. This is too expensive. At first I was like, everyone wanted Apple to make a pro computer. And then they did it and everyone was like, oh, they didn't do it right. But now I'm like, now that I think about it, there needs to be like a mid-ground, because you go from like iMac to iMac Pro, which I guess is kind of mid-ground, but then it's still not upgradable, and then to Mac Pro with the $1,000 stand, $5,000 monitor, and all of that. There needs to be like, I'd be happy with even a $3,000 starting point, like prosumer type thing, you know?
Yes, that'd be perfect.
That would be. But okay, I'm done. I don't want to talk about Apple anymore. We've already given them. I think the majority of this show has been about Apple.
I think so too. It's just so much to talk about. So much that happened in WWDC that we've just been bottling in until now. So that's all coming out.
Oh, and we've got the September keynote coming up in like a month.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
We'll get on that one. We definitely will get on that.
We will.
One,
we have to
as soon as it happens.
Because then, I already know how it's gonna go. They're gonna walk up and be like iPhone 11. I'm gonna be like, when can I pre-order it? And then I'm gonna pre-order it on pre-order day, and then make an unboxing video of it along with the Apple Watch. It's just gonna be the same thing as it's been the last 2 years. Okay, but okay. I'm done.
What do you bet the starting price is that going to be? Just a quick thing. What do you think the starting price?
I think the starting price is going to be the same.
Let's get.
But then they're going to have the terabyte tier because Samsung did it, so Apple has to do it now. So the terabyte, okay, my 512 gig 10s Max was $14.50 before tax and activation fees. So I'm going to guess that the 1 terabyte is going to be $16.50 at the minimum for the 11 Max. That's just a guess, but it's probably going to be right.
It could be.
It's probably going to be right.
I totally believe that.
It's probably going to be right.
I'll add an extra 100 over that. My guess will be 1,700.
It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Somewhere around 1,700, I bet.
We don't have Matt here, but Matt was right about the 10s Max 512 gig price. Maybe, I don't know, maybe hopefully we'll have him in the September event.
Yes. If not, we'll drag him over here, either here to Indiana
I will fly out to where, no, not fly, I'll drive to where he lives, and then put him in the hatchback of my 4Runner, next to the kickers, and then drive him back to Colorado, where Brandon will be waiting in my driveway. Then we'll haul him into my room, or no, we'll haul him into the basement in front of the green screen, and then do the Rantcast in real life.
Oh man, that would be a hell of an episode.
That would be great. Okay, what else? Man. What else were we gonna talk about? Because I already forgot.
YouTube being really dumb.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is going to be a 2-hour-long episode, man.
Here we go. Okay. So Google in general, okay, I've got a couple things to say. The new Google Photos update, what happened? Why is it duplicating every single photo I take? So what'll happen is, if I take a picture on my iPhone 10, and then sync it into Google Photos, it'll sync normally, right? But then if I open Google Photos on my iPhone XS Max, it will back up from PhotoStream a 3 megapixel version of the photo I just took. That never happened before until the most recent Google Photos update, okay? And it's really annoying because now I have 2 of my last 1,000 pictures. So there's that. That's kind of a minor thing. It's a minor inconvenience. It's not as bad as what we're about to get into. This is probably gonna get this video age restricted just because I'm talking about it. But recently, I uploaded the series finale remastered. I'm actually trying to pull up the video manager here. Yeah, here we go. Come on. Come on. I think my iMac is like overheating at this point. It's 90 degrees in this room. Okay, here we go. Smoke's here. Series finale remastered. Age restricted. Not suitable for most advertisers. Confirmed by manual review.
Oh my gosh.
So what that means is
crap.
What that means is somebody at YouTube went and watched a video of me microwaving a phone and then doing fireworks and said, "Oh, we have to age restrict this." But here's here's where it gets worse. I'm gonna just search finale, right? Search, come on. Okay, here we go. So check this out, guys. Here's the original series finale. June 16th, 2016. I guess it uploaded at 12:40 p.m. Go over here, monetized and unrestricted. The thing about this too, if you look at the time difference, this is a 9-minute video. The new one is 8 minutes. It's shorter, which means I showed less of what we did in the remastered, but the remastered one got age restricted and demonetized. So I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised my drone flight demo video didn't get age restricted because they're built for people like 18 plus. I'm surprised that didn't get age restricted.
Me too. Like, I'm surprised. I'm surprised none of my siren videos got age restricted because I have had YouTube. I had problems with YouTube before.
Didn't you say they like copyright? Yeah, they copyright claimed his siren video.
Yes, it was absolute bullcrap. It's just like it was a Sentry siren thing.
Oh, wrong scene. My bad. Sorry.
And like, yeah, it was a Sentry siren video, and I got a copyright claim on it. And I think what happened is that there's some song out there on the YouTube world or somewhere, and they must have like a siren sound or something, and it sounds similar enough to it where it would actually create a content ID thing. So I didn't get a copyright strike from it, but I get a content ID thing, and I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to do any advertising and stuff like that, which really sucks. So yeah, I had that happen, and I've also had videos turn out non-advertiser friendly. just siren videos, and I heard it's because of the metadata I had. So you know, sirens. If you're a siren enthusiast, sirens could do attack signal, where the signal wavers up and down, and it's supposed to signal an attack. Well, I put that in the title, and I put that in the description, and apparently it was raising some sort of red flag, and it got demonetized, and I wouldn't be able to request a manual review. So there's a really crappy part. I would not be able to request a manual override unless my video got, I don't remember the exact number. It might have been like 200 views or 1,000 views. Okay. Yeah. Which was crap because that never existed before. Before that, I could actually do it and give them a manual override, but now you got to have that limit, which kind of sucks because for my channel's pretty small, and
I passed him up in subscribers recently too. I think I'm like 100 ahead of him, but that's irrelevant at this point. We both have small channels. The point being, if a video gets demonetized, it's most likely not going to have 1,000 views for a long time. And then by then, it's not even going to be worth it, because you'll have new videos.
Yeah, the steam would have been completely gone by that point, because you get a majority of your viewers the moment you put it on public, you know, the moment it gets published.
And that's the reason, like, when I recorded the Wheelin siren back in May, I didn't put attack anywhere in the title. I don't even think I put whale, because that, I feel like whale is like something someone does when they're like being hurt or something like that. I feel like even that would get your video age restricted or demonetized or something like that, or maybe even like a community guideline strike.
Yeah, it's just, and especially with today's age and everything, the smallest things, the smallest little trigger words will cause your video to get demonetized or, you know, automatically. And I think people have been trying to figure out which words cause it, but I think they keep changing it. So, you know, there's always that. YouTube's just a big mystery, and they're always changing certain things. But that's just how it is.
Okay, do you think... okay, so you know how people are now getting triggered by the word moist? Wait, am I gonna get demonetized for saying that now?
I actually did not hear that word. So I think Discord got triggered about what word you said, because it got cut out when you said it.
Where's Shane Dawson? We need Shane Dawson to do a conspiracy theory video on this.
I think they're watching us. Dude, the government's watching us.
Moist. People don't like the word moist. I don't understand why. Like, what's wrong with it? Okay? What am I supposed to say?
Like, I think it's a gross word, but I don't think it's a bad word by any means.
He's one of them. Brandon's one of them. Oh, this is going to be the last episode of the Rantcast, guys. That's going to be it. Thank you for watching. No, just kidding. But, okay, regardless. Everybody just needs to chill out, okay? Let's just go back to... You remember Leafy? Do you remember Leafy is here?
I don't think I remember.
Oh, dude, you missed out on an entire era of YouTube where it was so much better. Leafy was a commentary channel, okay? He doesn't do videos anymore, and actually his Social Blade estimates him making $0 a year from his channel now. It used to be like 6 figures a month from that channel.
Oh my god.
He was a commentary channel, and there was no limits, okay? It was incredible. Now, only 3 years later, that will not fly on YouTube. You will get your channel taken down pretty much instantly at this point, because everyone just got so sensitive over everything, and it's ridiculous. I think I said retarded earlier in this episode. Someone's probably gonna get mad over that too.
That will get us demonetized. You'll get a community guideline strike. You'll get 2 community guideline strikes.
Yeah.
And this will be the last time. This will be the last video on Sam's channel, and probably the last one on mine. They'll somehow link it, my channel to yours.
So they're gonna figure out. They're gonna figure out it's him.
They're gonna be like,
"You've never
DSS 100 there."
You've never done a face reveal on your channel, have you?
I have not. Yes, I am very soon. So, a little off topic here, but I just got a Thunderbolt 1000T. Just bought it about about a month ago, and I'm actually going to do a series at some point of me restoring it. I already made some video. I just have to edit it. That's a whole other thing too. I've been very far behind with editing, and I've still been recording sirens, but I just haven't had the chance or much time to edit them. And I usually go all out on the editing aspect. I do this as a profession as well. So, you know, it's just natural of me to go ahead and make sure everything's shot very well and everything sounds very well and that the shots look good and edited very well. So I just haven't had much time to do all of that because of work and life and, you know, all of that. But I'm hoping within the next few weeks, since things are kind of slow at work and things are calming down here, that I can actually hopefully get videos back up again. I think I have like 80 something videos that I need to post on YouTube. I mean, I'm crazy far behind, but I am hoping to get better. Yeah, it's ridiculous number. I actually have ran out of space on my main computer, and I have them all on an external drive.
Oh no!
It's kind of sad because I've been just like, okay, I haven't worked on this for a long time. Moving to the next thing, and I have like old HD videos. So now I've been lately been transitioning to 4K since I hadn't got the new camera. But I still have a whole bunch of old HD videos yet that still need to get put up, and I just haven't had the chance. So there's that.
A quick question: do you record 4K 24 or 30?
I usually record 4K 30.
Okay.
But I have been considering doing 4K 24 just because it saves space and it looks, you know, more film-like.
Well, and another thing as well with at least my camera, for those who don't know, I have my actual camera is a Panasonic mirrorless camera. It's the G85, and that records 100 megabits per second 4K in 24 frames a second and 30 frames a second. So with less frames, yes, you're going to be saving space, but there's also going to be more detail because it's 6 less frames a second, but still the same bit rate. So it's going to be a little bit sharper than if you were to record at 30. Yeah.
I never thought of that. That's actually really cool. So, I might start doing that now.
And there was also a thing I did. Everyone knows phones don't record at that high of a bit rate. I think iPhones record 4K at like 10 megabits a second or something stupid low like that. But back when I was using iPhone to shoot all of my videos, I used an app called Movie Pro, and that actually allowed you to change the bitrate. So I put it up to 25 megabits a second, and since I'm exporting down to 17 megabits a second either way, it was fine. But now I shoot on an actual camera. I still do have the DJI Osmo mobile for my phone in case I ever need like a second angle for something, but the drone now, too. The drone records at the same bit rate in 24 or 30 frames a second 4K. And I think it's 100 something. It's at least 100. It might just be 100, or it could be higher. I don't know. I can't remember. All I know is my drone doesn't do 4K 60, and I'm not happy about it. Because I want 4K 60
mine does
for my
4K 60, man.
Get out of here.
4K 60.
Okay, I'm gonna take Brandon off of the screen for a minute because he's triggering me. But no, I'm just kidding. But okay, let's talk about that. That was another thing I wanted to talk about. I'm not gonna get it. It's way back there somewhere. But I have a DJI Mavic 2 Pro. That's the drone I bought. It was the same price as the Phantom 4 Pro V2. But it does less than the Phantom 4 Pro V2. The Phantom 4 Pro V2... I'm going to stop saying V2. The Phantom 4 Pro had a...
It's a stupid name. Let's put it that way.
Why wasn't it just a freaking Phantom 4?
They're getting their ideas from Apple.
They actually,
are. They actually are.
They
if you
do.
Think about it. They
have to.
They do.
They have to work with Apple because their products are sold in Apple stores. I don't know if Brandon knows this or any of you guys do, but... if you want to sell your product in an Apple store, Apple gets to have a say in your packaging design, like the design of the box. That's why DJI products look like Apple products. It's because Apple has a say in their design. Apple's just like, they're such a controlling company, they have to have a say in what the boxes look like for other people's products.
See, I
Like-
always thought they were just trying to copy Apple, but I never knew they were sold in their stores. That's actually pretty cool, but wow.
It is, but yeah,
It also goes to
that's
show
why,
how
like,
Apple's very controlling.
That's why, like, the Mavic 2 Pro box looks really similar to, like, an iMac box or an iPhone box.
Yeah,
like, you
it
can see,
does.
like, a million of them back here. You can get the idea of the design, right? The Mavic 2 Pro box is a picture of the Mavic 2 Pro, and then the text, Mavic 2 Pro. iPhone box, we're just gonna grab this one. 7 Plus. Picture of the iPhone, and then specs on the back, which is overexposed. There you go. But that's why, if any of you were ever wondering, that's why DJI products look like Apple products. It's not because they're trying to rip them off. It's because Apple decides on their packaging designs. That's why you don't see
That's cool.
like it is. Well, it kind of
My
is,
mind's
but it
just
kind of
blown.
isn't.
I didn't know
Like,
that.
Oh man. Okay, so what else? The Mavic. Oh, the Phantom 4 Pro had the mechanical shutter on the camera as well, which honestly it doesn't make that much of a difference when it's a mirrorless camera, which it pretty much is at that point in a drone. But my Panasonic mirrorless camera has a mechanical shutter, but you can turn it off, and it doesn't really change the quality of the photos. It's just less satisfying because you don't hear a shutter moving. But when you're flying a drone, you're not going to hear the shutter anyway, even if it's right next to your face because the propellers are so loud. You're not going to hear a shutter.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't do 4K 60, and it costs the same. And it came with less stuff too, because the Phantom 4s, they came with an entire extra set of propellers. The Mavic 2
Yes.
Pro only came with 2 extra propellers. It didn't come with the case either. The case came with the Flymore kit that I bought, and so did these extra batteries in this charge hub right here. But that's a story for a different time when I do the actual like full review of that drone. Don't get me wrong, it's an incredible drone. I'm really impressed with its like ability to do everything. I figured out the sphere panoramas today at work. Those are awesome, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But Active Track was incredibly helpful with the off-road video we uploaded last Friday. But, I mean, it's a great drone, but why can't I have my 4K 60? Why can't I have it?
Yeah. I was really shocked when you told me that the Phantom 4 Pro version 2 or the Pro Plus, whatever they called it,
It was the Phantom
discontinued.
4 Pro V2. And yeah, they dropped the Phantom line, as far as we can tell from right now at least, because it's been out of stock since
Yeah.
November, and there hasn't been any like Phantom 5 rumors or anything like that.
Yeah.
DJI
The Phantom
says,
5
DJI
the
says
Phantom
it's
5
a,
rumors were like, all right, here you can go ahead.
every time we talk over each other. This is just a thing.
Yeah.
But DJI said, I think back in December or sometime a while back, they said it's a parts shortage. That's why the Phantom 4 has been out of stock. That's a crazy parts shortage for more than half
know,
a year, dude.
for that
November
long?
to August. Like here, let's go look. Let's go to DJI's website right now. DJI.com. Here we are. Oh man. Okay. Smart control. I wanted that, but it was like a $500 add-on, so I said no. Okay. Consumer. Don't go away. There we go. Phantom 4 Pro V2. Watch it just be back in stock now. I'd be like, okay. Okay. No, it's still out of stock. Okay. Everything is out of stock. The normal remote controller package and the one with the screen. And look at all the stuff it came with. So what you got in the box with the Phantom 4 Pro was a foam case, an entire extra set of propellers, whatever that thing is right there. What is that? You have one. What is this?
Well, I can't see it. What?
Wait, you can't see my screen?
Oh, is that middle thing?
Yeah, the thing that like my mouse is right by.
Oh, that is a gimbal lock. You put that onto the gimbal, and it just locks it in place. It's only
Okay.
there for protection. It's actually kind of crap.
Well, the
It
Mavic
pushes-
has that too, but
Yeah, it pushes the gimbal or the camera too far into the drone, and I actually had a problem with the shock absorber or whatever. And oh yeah, this is actually a pretty good rant. So it actually pushed it in. So it actually, I think, damaged something. So whenever I moved the drone, like let's say I'm picking up the drone and I'm moving it, and that gimbal's gonna keep that camera straight. If I had it at an extreme angle, you could hear the gimbal just make this horrid grinding sound, and the camera would just like kind of move a little bit. Eventually, this got very, very bad, and I had to take it in. It was under warranty yet, so I take it in, I get it RMA'd, and it comes back, and they didn't honor the warranty. They're like, well, hey, your drone got in a wreck, or you crashed your drone, so we can't honor your warranty. And it was actually a bunch of crap, because now it is true that the drone got into a crash, but it was a very, very, very minor one, like only like a few feet up in the ground, and it didn't hit the gimbal or anything like that. It was actually, I had that problem before the crash, and had it after, and it just been like months way after that it started to get real bad. So yeah, it was actually a bunch of crap. I like DJI's drones and their products, but customer service wise, they're kind of not the greatest. So you just hope that if you do buy one of their drones, that there's nothing wrong like that, and if there is, take it back right away. Don't be like me and just wait and kind of procrastinate on it. Because I mean, when I got it and I had that problem, I knew there was something kind of weird about it, but I was so excited because I had this drone and I get this such awesome footage. I didn't want to return it right away, because I was like, when I first got this drone, I was flying it at least once every day or every other day, because it's a freaking drone. I mean, it's so cool and fun to fly.
Oh dude, that's how I am with my Mavic right now too. I remember when you got your Phantom 4, and then like this guy, okay, he buys a Phantom 4 Pro, doesn't tell me, and then I see it like on his bed, and I'm like, is that a Phantom? And he just goes, yeah, I bought it like a month ago, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I'm a secret. I'm very secretive. You just never know what I'm gonna buy. I might have a
dude. I didn't know about your new laptop until that one episode of the Rantcast either.
Oh yeah, I remember.
We were recording, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I recently bought a new laptop," and I was like, "Wait, what? When did that happen?" Oh, I don't know if I have a clip of it. I'll have to find it, but
it probably is somewhere around there.
I'm pretty sure it was in an episode of this series. Yeah. I'm not even gonna call it a show. It's not even a series at this point. It's like a every once in a while thing. There will be a video.
It's like a bi-yearly thing that we do.
No, you can't. You can't say bi. Every other year.
Oh,
you can't say that. We have to be super careful with what we're saying, dude. But
yeah, we got sensitivity is very important. Yes.
We're gonna go back to YouTube for a second, guys. There was an entire part that I just cut out of the video because it would have probably demonetized the video. But when you live stream on YouTube, they transcribe everything everybody says, and if they pick up on one thing, you lose ads. And then it takes a while for the stream to like reset, because I remember one time our stream that was privated. The only reason I live streamed these episodes privately is because one time we had OBS corrupt the local file, and we had to redo the whole episode.
Yes.
But
yes, I remember that.
So now I live stream on YouTube, but it was a private live stream, 0 viewers, and ads got taken off of it. And it was because I think it was the Google Plus episode, and then it was like 2 months before I got ads back on my live stream. So, okay, there's another quick little rant on YouTube. Let's go back to the Phantom 4 and what it comes with. Okay, did yours come with an SD card, a micro SD card?
You know, that's hard to answer because I bought mine as like a kit, so it came with extra stuff. I think it did, but I think it was with the kit. Okay. So, you know, there's that.
There's a micro SD card shown here, so we're gonna just guess that it came with at least a 32 gig micro SD card, which isn't much when you're shooting 4K, but at least they gave it to you, right?
Yeah. No, actually, mine's a 32 gig, and it does a decent job. I mean, I guess if you're filming your entire flight, it would kind of suck.
Yeah,
but
like,
you know, when I record a siren, it's good enough for me. Though.
I had to bump mine up to 256 because an hour of footage wasn't enough. But does the Phantom 4 do 4K HDR?
That's a good question, and if it does, I've never tried it.
Okay. Well, don't, because it's a pain. I did shoot HDR once, and then Final Cut, like, had a stroke, and it didn't like it. It looked perfect in Final Cut, and then when I exported it, everything was way overexposed. And then I was like, okay, let me try a different color
I'm
space.
not trying that again.
I did a different color space, a different HDR color space, and then everything was way underexposed. So I said, okay, we're just going to take this and recolor grade it for the standard color space, and then it looked fine. That was the Golden Cruise. I shot that in HDR, edited it in a, it was REC 2020 HLG was the color space that I was editing in. Looked beautiful in Final Cut, and then exported. Actually, I can show you. I didn't delete the raw file. I'm not gonna bother opening up Final Cut, but this is. Oh, I did save all the other broken HDRs. So. Okay, this was. Wait, okay, here we go. Wait a second. No, this is the dark one. See how everything's like super dark? I am killing my poor iMac trying to screen record and play 4K at the same time, but you can at least get an idea, right? So let's close that. Here was the different color space. Now everything is way overexposed.
Man, you just can't win.
So then I finally just said screw it and just rendered it out to the REC 709 standard color space, and that's the one that you can watch on YouTube and see everything's like all clean. It did help color grading in HDR, but since I was grading in a different color space, it was weird. So we're just gonna say goodbye to HDR for right now until I figure out how to fix it. But yeah, so I guess that's it for the DJI rant. What else? Was there anything else we wanted to talk about? All I want to talk about is how hot it is in this room right now. If you guys don't believe me, check this out right here. Here's a thermostat, 90 degrees. It is 90 degrees in here. Fun times. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about in this episode of the Rantcast?
Let's see. I could talk about how my camera died.
Your camera died? See, here's another thing.
It didn't really die.
What happened to your camera?
So it didn't really die in like a normal sense. It more like, so I was trying to it had this problem for the past like maybe like 5 months, where occasionally I wouldn't be able to stick SD cards in there. So I take my SD card out, okay, do whatever I want with that, stick it back in, but I'm having trouble sticking it in. So like, it'd be kind of frustrating. So what I would do, I would take some canned air, spray into the SD card slot, and then it would actually work. So I kept doing that for a little while. It would be very rare that the SD card slot would get jammed like that. But then up until about a month ago, I took an SD card out, did some stuff, downloaded footage, whatnot, put it back in. Well, I tried to put it back in. It wouldn't budge. Put the canned air in there. Still wouldn't work. Did more canned air. Still wouldn't work. Got my tweezers out and just kind of messed around in there to see if I could, maybe something got like jammed or bent. Still would not work. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? The camera's still under warranty, so I'm going to just send it in. So I did, and they actually, like, I didn't have to pay anything, so that was one nice thing. And Sony customer service was actually pretty decent at helping us out. So they actually had to replace like a board in there. That's what it said on the receipt. Even though I didn't have to pay for it, they still gave me like a receipt and the things that they fixed. They said they replaced like a board. So I guess that SD card slot is like soldered into like the logic board or something in there. They just, rather than actually repair it, they just put a new one in. But you know, kind of sucked. I was out of a 4K camera for about a month. Not because the repair took that long, but more so because of just me kind of procrastinating and getting this done.
Okay,
so,
you did actually tell me about that. I had just forgotten about it. But
yeah, so it kind of sucks.
that does suck. Oh man, if that happened to my Panasonic, I'd probably end up just breaking it even more. I'd probably just get mad and like throw it across the room and then be like, oh no, it's broken.
That's what I was worried about too when I was trying to fix it. I was worried I was gonna make it even worse, and maybe I did. But yeah.
Well, does it still work?
The camera itself was working okay.
But like,
so
does
my
the card
plan,
slot, does the SD card slot still work?
No, it was like jammed. I mean, I got it fixed now, so it works now.
Oh, okay.
But,
okay.
So, yeah,
no,
it's fixed now. It's good. But yeah, my backup plan was to just like maybe record from an HDMI out, you know, and then maybe record that through like something. But I'm like, that's way too much work.
That's such a pain, dude. I hate I hate external recording. I hate it. It's the worst. It's so terrible.
Exactly.
Like, why externally record when you can just take? I have one. Well, here's a 64 gig one. I don't even know where this came from, but when you can take one of these, toss it into the camera, but no, then you gotta like take a separate battery, a separate storage medium, and then stick it on top of the camera, and then be like, okay, I'm gonna record this way.
It's a big pain in the butt.
It's dumb.
Yes.
It's
actually
dumb.
So I have the Sony A7S II, but before that there was just the A7S, and apparently it cannot internally record 4K. So if it could still do 4K, but in order to record, you had to like...
They can't. I know someone with the original A7S, it doesn't do external 4K either.
It doesn't? Oh my gosh. No, that really sucks.
It's just 1080p.
That's a big downer there.
Yeah, for real. Like, if you're going to be buying a camera for, like, okay, if you're going to be buying, like, a DSLR for pictures and video, just get one that does 4K, because you're going to regret it if you don't. You're gonna go out and be like, oh, I got my Canon 70D, and then you're gonna start recording video with it, and then be like, this is really low bitrate 1080p. You can buy the 5D, like, and then it's even worse with the 5D, because the 5D does 4K, but it's at 500 megabits a second, so it's like crazy big files that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Now, Magic Lantern is a thing you can install to change the bitrate, but I don't know how to do that. I'm too lazy.
Yeah. Same here. I wouldn't go that far.
Canon's mirrorless cameras, though, I don't know what bitrate they do 4K at. They're not bad. They do have the stabilized sensor, but I mean, Panasonic and Sony exist, okay, and they give you like the same thing for cheaper. Especially Panasonic's new full frame. That thing's incredible. And it's, I think it's cheaper
really killing it now.
They are. I think Panasonic is going to destroy the mirrorless camera game, which kind of sucks because I liked Canon. And then they were just like, oh, let's go the Apple route and give you less for more.
Same here. Same here. I mean, I was willing to go get another Canon, you know, when I was thinking about upgrading cameras, because I already have two Canon lenses, even though they're really cheap, crappy ones. But still, I wanted to stick with Canon, but then, you know, Sony, I heard about the A7S II. Even though it's an older camera at this point, I really like it. It's a really good camera, and besides that stupid SD card problem and the very crappy battery life, it's a pretty good camera. It's not super cheap, though, and the lenses for it aren't cheap. But, you know, it's for the price that I paid for it. I'm still pretty happy for it. If you really want, if you don't really want a full frame camera, I'd say go for a Panasonic Micro Four Thirds thing, because it's cheaper and it still takes very good, very good video.
Well, here's the thing about Micro Four Thirds cameras, though. They are terrible in low light. It doesn't matter what lens you put on it; they suck. Okay, and that's because of the sensor size. The upside, though, to Micro Four Thirds is you can adapt any lens size onto it, because it's the smallest sensor in a camera like that. So you could take a what's the one bigger than full frame? I think it's called medium format. You could take one of those and put it onto a Micro Four Thirds with an adapter. Now the focal length is going to be measured differently, but it'll work. But what you can't do is take a Micro Four Thirds or APS-C lens and put it on a full frame without it doing weird things and doing weird cropping and stuff. Because I think
Yes,
you
had-
use APS-C lenses on your full frame, right? And then it like kind of crops a little bit
Originally,
of the
yes.
sensor.
Yeah, I had the 18 to 55 Canon lens for a little while, and that was horrible. I mean, it just crops really bad. I mean, you get a really bad vignetting. And then later on, I used the 75 to 300 millimeter. Again, very cheap, crappy lens, but it still does the job. But that would vignette as well. And another thing too, it doesn't zoom as far. You know, there's that in an APS-C thing. You know, there's that crop factor thing, so it kind of helps you out. You zoom further. But once you put that lens into a full frame, you don't get as much zoom anymore. So you have to get a full frame lens, which is very expensive. In fact, I just bought a telephoto lens not too long ago for full frame, and I get good zoom. But here's the sad and funny part is that I had my first camera that I used for siren recording was a Sony Handycam, right? Very small sensor, but there's a crop factor to it. And so that actually still zooms further than this big telephoto lens I have. Of course, the footage looks way better on my 4K camera, but it's huge. If I had time, I get that out for you. But my Sony with that telephoto lens is just absolutely massive, whereas my Handycam was maybe like that big. So, you know, there's that sort of thing. Portability on a full frame camera is kind of, even though it's a mirrorless camera and small, but if you want to get something far away, it's much harder to do.
And with Micro Four Thirds as well, the lens I have is 12 to 60 millimeters, but that's Micro Four Thirds 12 to 60 millimeters. On a full frame, it's equivalent to 24 to 120. I don't know what it is on APS-C or anything else, but full frame is the most common because, like, back when there was like film cameras, it would be 35 millimeter film. That's the size of a full frame sensor, is 35 millimeters. So if you're looking at a Micro Four Thirds focal length, it's going to be half of what it would be on a full frame sensor, pretty much. Which I don't know why, but that's just how it works. Like that's just how it works. That's it.
There's some weird math there, and there's some physics with light and how that works and the crop factor, but that's how I understood it too. It's just how it works. It's just Micro Four Thirds, smaller lens, smaller sensor, you know.
Not as good in low light, but portability is the thing too. And so
it's a bit cheaper too.
It is cheaper to have a Micro Four Thirds sensor. But yeah, I mean,
another thing about Micro Four Thirds too is that my camera, since it's full frame and mirrorless, it's in a very small format, but it's also prone to using a lot of power and overheating too. So if I were to keep my Sony like recording for like a half hour, and I feel that thing's hot. But the G85 that I almost got would not have that problem. And you can record for a pretty long time on that thing too. I think it even has 2 SD card slots or something, if I remember correctly. Mine only has 1. Because I guess Sony figured, well, you know, they're not going to be recording that long on this thing because this thing's just going to shut down before that.
Yeah, it'll melt before it fills up 2 SD cards.
It'll melt. It'll just be a puddle of stuff.
What is nice about the GH5 though, I'm not entirely sure about the 2 SD card slots. I think it does, but I'm not entirely sure. That does 4K 60. My G85 doesn't do 4K 60, but it was also... The G85 is old too. I think it came out in 2016 or maybe 2017 or something like that. I know at like the newest it was released was 2017 because my friend Foxton had one in 2017. But I'm pretty sure it came out in 2016. It's still a great camera. Panasonic still makes it and sells it. But it's just that Micro Four Thirds sensor kills it in low light. And not in a good way. Like, it kills low light. You can't see anything unless you boost the ISO to 6400 and then down the shutter speed to 25, and then you get grain and motion blur, and it's just weird.
Yeah,
but
it just looks horrible.
You can fix some of it in post-processing, but since you're not shooting RAW, there's not very much you can do about it. Which kind of sucks, but that's what happens when you buy a Micro Four Thirds camera. Like, there's no other, like, reason for that. Like that's it. Micro Four Thirds is great until it gets dark.
Yeah. And full frame is great until you need to shoot something in the long-term kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too, man. You gotta get those ND filters, which I don't even have for my telephoto lens yet.
Oh, I was talking about heat, not like sun or anything, like brightness, but like heat, because you said it overheats. If you're shooting out in the sun, it's just gonna overheat faster.
Oh yeah, and actually, what I did with my telephoto lens, I got like, you know, those really big, real expensive telephoto lenses. They are usually white, and that's usually for the to help dissipate heat and everything, because you know light reflects off the white there. But mine actually is black all the way around. So what I did to help dissipate that is I actually got this white carbon fiber wrap kind of thing, vinyl wrap, and I just wrapped it around some of the bare parts of the lens. And I actually have noticed that the lens isn't as hot as it used to be when I touch it, because you know when you're recording a siren, you don't know how long. Sometimes you have to wait a lot. Like they might say the siren test at 4 o'clock, but in reality, it probably is going to sound off at like 4:08. You know, they're just really late a lot of places. And so you're just going to be waiting there in a hot sun, just like about to die, and the camera is just struggling, you know, you can feel it like, oh man, this thing is just, it's not having it. So you want to do the most you can, at least in my case, you want to do the most you can to keep that camera cool and the lens cool as well.
Oh, and that was me. That was me and Calhan back in May.
Oh yes, because you had to wait a super long time, didn't you?
Because I went at the wrong time. Because I'm not that smart, okay? The most recent video of that siren in 2018 said, first Friday in May, 2 p.m. So I'm like, okay, gotta go pick up the C200 from school because someone had to take it the day before, even though I already had it at my house. But that was the whole thing. But I went there, got it all set up at like 1:50. And then 2 o'clock comes around, the fan in the C200 is spun all the way up. My G85 is like hot, and then nothing happens. I had the iPhone XS Max under the siren, back when I had the black case on it. I think at like 2:15, I went and grabbed it, and it was hot. I was surprised it didn't overheat yet. And then I called Calhan's Town Hall, and they were like, oh, we're not testing it till 7. And I was like, great. So,
thanks.
And here's the thing, I live 2 hours away from that, so I couldn't even like go home and relax. I had to stay there in the sun in my car with my phone my phone at like 50% because my external like battery charger had died and I forgot to charge it the night before.
Oh.
And then, so
you're just twiddling your thumbs.
I mean, well, pretty much what I did was like I just had the car on, AC on max, and I was just listening to music with the kickers. Because, like, what else are you going to do at that point? I got Subway.
Exactly.
But if
you didn't go to the 2 grills? You didn't go to the 2 grills?
I'm saving that for when you get out here, and then we can do...
Yes.
Plus, that place is like...
We'll do it.
I saw the rooster in real life, though. That was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I think I drove around that town like 20 times while I was waiting for that to go off. And then when it finally did, I was like, wow, sirens are a lot louder than I remember. But...
yeah.
that was fun. I'm probably going to do it again this year with the drone. Hopefully Brandon will be able to come out and do it too. But
I'll be able to join you, because I really, really want to be there and listen to that thing, because that thing is just insane.
Videos
and
don't...
also
Dude,
visit Colorado.
I had to hide in my car. Like, it went off. Like, I was standing out there, I was like, okay, alright, let's do it. And then it went off, and I was like, whoa. Like...
That sucker's loud, ain't it?
Yeah, they hurt. So I was like... I had a camera on top of my car, so I, like, slowly got into my car, trying not to shake the camera, and then closed the door. And then I was just sitting in there like oh man, boy.
That's loud.
It was shaking my car. Like, not as much as the kickers do, obviously, but you could feel it in the car.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially when you're outside and the sound goes like right through you.
Yeah,
you ever get that feeling?
Oh yeah, I did.
It feels so weird.
The wheel-in sirens didn't do that though, because they're speakers.
Oh yeah, I can believe that. Mechanicals will do that.
Oh yeah, they will. But here's another thing. Calhan has a Jeep Wrangler USPS truck. It's a Jeep Wrangler.
Wow.
It's a Jeep Wrangler with the steering wheel on the other side with USPS labels on it. It's so cool.
That's weird.
I was like,
That's
what?
cool though. Yes.
And then recently up in Idaho Springs, I saw a Toyota RAV4, same thing.
Wow.
So like it's like
and the steering wheel's on the
it's on the European side, because like the actual USPS trucks have the steering wheel there.
Yeah.
This Wrangler and this RAV4 had the steering wheel and gas pedal and instrument cluster on the other side.
That's cool.
It is. It's like the small towns in Colorado, like I hate them, but I love them. Like they get boring really fast, but then you see stuff like that and you're like, what?
That's how it is in Indiana as well. It's like there's sometimes just a random small town you go to, and there's just something weird and quirky about it that it's like, I hate these small towns. There's not much to do here, but that's pretty cool, or that's pretty nice, you know? It's just, you don't know what to expect in them sometimes. So yeah.
You don't. It's weird.
Cool stuff.
I think it's time to end off this video, guys. I'm about to have a heat stroke.
We're like,
it's getting hot
in
here.
Same here.
All right, guys. That's it for this episode of the Rantcast. Subscribe to Brandon. Links in the description, card, end screen. Same thing as usual. Do you want to say anything else before I end it?
Not really.
There you go, guys. Just a bunch of dumb tech stuff, a bunch of things that we ranted about today. But that's going to be it.
This is like a catch-up Rantcast. I mean, we have like multiple episodes into one, pretty much, if you think about it.
Pretty much,
we
yeah.
did Apple, DJI, YouTube. Everyone just got our hate, pretty much. Except
Everyone
for Skype. We usually rant Skype, but we're
not using
today.
Skype anymore because it's so terrible. We're just using Discord now. So if anyone from Discord is watching, thank you for existing, and thank you for not being so garbage like Skype is.
Yes.
We'd be using FaceTime, but the issue with that is I can't record FaceTime because Apple knows how to, like, if I were to drag a FaceTime window onto that screen, it would just be black. And then there would be no audio going into OBS, which is my live streaming and recording software. I don't know how they did that, but they figured it out, and you can't record a FaceTime call. It's so weird, but there you go, guys. That is going to be it for this episode of the Rantcast. I'm going to turn this AC back on. And yeah, again, subscribe to Brandon. Links in the description, and a card in the top right corner, and an end screen. Same stuff as usual. But until the next video, guys, that is going to be it. Thank you for watching.